Okay, here we have another charger test video for another one of my customers. This is a RMA. He's already sent one of his chargers back for, I think he was charging nickel metal hydride batteries and he was cycling them and the charger supposedly died or something or whatever. Busted his chops a little bit. I wasn't exactly sure if it'll be RMA, but well, we went on ahead and RMA'd the charger, so they sent me a refurbished charger out. So this is what, this is what I got in the mail. So I'm just kind of doing an unboxing of this one. When they do an RMA, they just send just the raw charger. You just send them just the charger, they send just the charger back. So this is what I received. A little bit of dust on it. Alright, so this is the charger here. It looks good. Just giving it a sniff test. The other one, you can tell that one had its ass blown out. But this one looks good. I'm going to put it on one of my power supplies here. I know it to be good. I know my charge cable to be good, but we're going to double check. So we have red to red, black and black. The square end of the plug mates up. And I'm going to just do something real quick. I'm going to, the power supply is on a power strip. And I got to practice what I preach, so power supply should be off. Plugged it in. I'm going to turn my power supply on. Let me push this back a little bit. Alright. Turn the power supply on. Alright, 2.17 is the firmware. 12.79 volts on the input. So the charger is working. Alright, so I'm going to get this charger ready, and just like I always do, I'm going to charge some batteries, discharge some batteries, and check in periodically to let y'all know what's going on. Unfortunately, like I said, on this charger, I don't have a balance board, so I have to get creative with hooking the batteries up to the charger. So I have these 3S Glacier batteries. So I think I'm going to try to do something like this. Just double checking, red, red, black, black. Alright, and then I've cut a little notch right here to where it doesn't hang when I insert it in the port, and I'm going to just line it up to the right side of the port for balance purposes. Alright, we got that one done. Let's do this one over here. Gonna do the same thing to this one. This one I haven't trimmed yet officially, so get my razor blade out and trim this. Alright, so I got this one trimmed as well. We're going to set this one up in a similar manner. I'm going to double check, red to red, black to black. Plug it in. And we want to get the balance on this one also. It's really hard to orientate these batteries sometimes. And we're going to line this one up to the right side of the port. Alright, so we got 11.5 and 10 something over here. We're just going to charge these up fast as possible. So charge. Have 4 of 6 dual charge. I should be able to do about 25 amps on each port. Put cell count at 3S. Start up that port. Go over here. Same thing. Start up this port. Just make sure all the bullets are plugged in good. So we're ramping up here. So we have roughly 25 amps on both ports. I'm just going to bump this up a notch. So there we go. Do 27. This charger has a slightly higher input current limit. So that put it right at 60 amps on the power supply. I'm going to bump this one up as well. Let's see. .27 amps. So what we have here is we have 63 amps of current on the input. Power supply is 62 amps. So we're actually taxing the power supply a little bit hard, but again, we just want to get these batteries charged up fast as possible. And then we'll do a discharge test on it. Make sure each channel is discharging perfectly. We'll put the channels in parallel, do a charge test and a discharge test. Make sure everything is good. And again, I'm going to just pick this up and kind of let you see what's going on the screen. So let me see if I can get it zoomed in a little bit. So we have 11.9 volts on the power supply, 63 amps, 64 amps being pulled from a 62 amp power supply. Each channel is charging at 27 amps. So this is, you know, stressing everything quite hard. Power supply, you know, is being definitely heavily loaded. The fans haven't kicked on yet, but the charger is a big beefy charger, so it can take a little bit of abuse, but we slowly see the temperature rising over here. But, you know, this is supposed to be a video testing the chargers to make sure the customer gets a working charger, so they can't say that it was fried, blown, busted, or whatever. The power supply just started ramping up. So power supply is ramping up over there. Finally got warm enough for that to kick on. So I'm gonna leave this going and charge these batteries up and come back when it's done. Okay, I have one port done charging, so I'm gonna go ahead and start a discharge on this port. So just setting to something higher so I don't have to change it. Alright, so it looks like we settled in at like 10.5 amps and climbing. Um, so we got one port charging and one port discharging. When the other port gets done charging, I'm gonna do a discharge on that side as well. So um, I'll be back in time for that, and go ahead and start the discharge on that. And then after that, we will put a parallel cable on here and parallel charge one of these batteries up in synchronous mode. That means both ports will be working together to charge the battery at a higher amperage, and I did it at 50 amps last time, so we'll do it again. But just stay tuned, and let's wait for this other side to finish charging. Okay, the other side of the charger is done charging. The left side has been discharging for a little while. We're going to start the right one discharging. It's set at 15 amps, but it's probably going to clock out at about 10, 11 amps like the other side. So we're going to get this one up and going, ramping up fine. And again, we're using the internal discharger on this charger, and like I said, the internal discharger seems to be working absolutely great on this. I don't see any hiccups or anything, so let's see, we're still ramping up on that right side here. But I'll come back. Like you see the ports have kind of balanced themselves out a little bit. But I'm gonna check back in when these batteries are discharged and when I'm ready to go to my next phase of testing. So I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, so I got both these batteries discharged. I'm gonna reset everything back up with my parallel charge cables and get one of these batteries charging in parallel on both channels. So give me one moment to set that up. Alright, so we have everything set up. I'm gonna go in here and change the recipe to allow for synchronous charging. Alright, so charged. Alright, so we have it set up for a 50 amp charge cycle using both ports to charge this battery in parallel. Battery is down there. Have a little fan on the battery just to kind of help things out a little bit, because this is definitely stressful on the battery. So let me go ahead and get this started. Alright, so we're climbing up. We're at 24, 26. You can see it on the screen. Still climbing. So we're at 50 amp. I could actually push this a little bit harder, but like I said, I'm already hitting this battery with 10C of charge current. But we're going to let this play out and let it charge this battery, and I'll come back in a few minutes. Alright, so this charge completed the parallel port charging. Did it fine. Battery survived okay and everything. So now we're going to do a parallel discharge. I'm just setting this high enough to where I don't have to change it. It should self-limit itself. So now we're parallel port discharging. And I'm going to let this run and come back in a little bit. Okay, so it did that parallel discharge fine, and so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to charge this cell back up, and then I'm going to transfer it over to my station where we can do from channel to channel regenerative discharge, and after that I will say the charger is okay and I'll send it out to you. So give me one moment while I set that up, while I get this battery charged and then set it up over there on my discharge station. So give me one moment. Okay, so I got the charge over here on my test station. We're going to discharge this battery over here into my load bank here. So let me get that set up to do. Alright, so we have this pack being discharged over into this channel at 40 amps. Just waiting for it to ramp up. There we go. Still ramping up here. Alright, so there we go. We're almost maxed out here. I'm going to go ahead and let this finish up, and then after this I'll consider the charger completely working and I can ship it out to the customer. Again, this charger was an RMA, meaning they sent the bad charger back. They received a refurbished charger for warranty. So that's what this test is all about, is just testing the RMA charger before we ship it back to the charger, so we know 100% sure they're going to get something working and they shouldn't have any more problems. Alright, so we completed that discharge to channel, went from one channel to over to the other channel. Everything seems to be functioning okay with the charger, so I'm going to go ahead and box this up and get it shipped back to the customer. Alright, just packing this charger for Steven here. I just tested all the functions of it. Everything seems to be working fine on it. So I'm just boxing it up and print out the postage and get it back to him. Since this was an RMA, that's all that goes in the box. There's no other things that go in that. Alright, Stephen, that is it for you. You have your RMA charger. I've tested it. Everything works out great. Thanks for watching.